Welcome to the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce News and Views show. I'm your host, Diane Sawyer, with the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce. Today we have with us a Meet the Board Member edition. Welcome to the show, Quam.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So, you're on our board. This is your second? Is this your second year?
No, first year.
First year?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look, I feel like time's flying. I'm trying to aid you in your term a little bit. So first year, I'll be good to you today, I promise. Okay. So tell us a little bit about who you are.
Okay, my name's Quam Martin. I'm from the Madison-Meldan area, and I moved here around 2014, I think. It was 2014, my junior and senior year in high school. Then I went to UNC Pembroke. I was a biology major. I had plans on becoming a physical therapist, but things changed and I really didn't want to be in school for 7 more years. So I ended up here at Annie Penn. I took a job at the front desk with Julie Wagner. And from there, I moved to ICU for a little bit. I worked as a nurse secretary in ICU, and then I took the current position that I'm in now, which is senior executive assistant at Annie Penn.
That's a long title.
Yes. So basically that title means I assist the president, CNO, and the rural health medical director, and I'll be assisting the upcoming site administrator that we're getting at Annie Penn.
So tell us a little bit about that. How long have you been in this role?
I've been in, September 14th will be my 5th year at Annie Penn altogether. So I've been in this role for about 4 years.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I heard you guys were getting a site person.
Mm-hmm.
That's really exciting.
Yes.
I had lunch recently with some philanthropy folks, and so they were telling me a little bit about how that was going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool.
Yes.
It's a little bit different from what's been done in the past.
Yeah, traditionally we had a president and then a vice president and CNO, but now we have a regional president that's over the north and east markets, which is Annie Penn and Alamance. Mm-hmm. And then we have a CNO that sits at Annie Penn directly. And then this site administrator is going to be just over operations mostly. So I
think it's going to be a very different feel, but I think it's going to be a really good thing for the hospital.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. To have leadership directly on site every day, it's going to be great.
Yes, it's been a while since we've had leadership directly in Reidsville all the time.
Yes.
And so I think that in my 15 years, I can think of 3, maybe 4 presidents that we have been through. Just due to retirements and moving on and, other things. But for me, I don't know. I've told this story on my show before. But, I have a long history. I grew up in Rockingham County, grew up in Eden, watching my mom go to nursing school at RCC and working as a CNA at Annie Penn on the weekend. She was an Annie Penn scholar through the foundation. And I don't know if they still do those, but I feel like they probably do. It may look different. But, where you can work at Annie Penn as you're working through your degree at RCC.
Yes, I think they do. I don't know what the exact title is.
Yeah, now. I wouldn't know either. But, watching her come through that. And so when I was old enough, I was a candy striper, which at the time, I guess it was just called a junior volunteer or something. Yes. And I feel like it's probably changed over the years. But I worked for Angie Staub.
Oh, okay.
Which is, still a legendary name around here. And Peggy Bowers. And so I was in their office when it was long time ago, when it was downstairs off to the right, like on that first floor before they moved everything around. And so I've watched Annie Penn develop over the years, change, grow, add services, become a part of Cone Health, all of those pieces. And, one of the things that I think for Cone, Annie Penn's a pretty high functioning facility for Cone. And I think we are a high producer. And, for us as a community, it's really great to have the resources that we have. I don't think people understand what that means. Like, I don't think people understand why we're not a birthing hospital. I don't think they understand why we can do some of the things that we can do by peeing apart a cone. You want to touch on that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, a lot of people in the community, we're not a birthing hospital because I think it come to the providers, like the doctors
Yeah.
having to be on call. We only had two doctors, which means they couldn't get vacation time and things, so they just decided to go without and focus on other things that we really needed in the area.
Well, and one of the things that somebody, one of the providers actually said to me, because I
Mm-hmm.
mean, most people, one of the things I've talked about on my show is my children. So I have a 14-year-old all the way down to, I have a 14 and going on 12-year-old and a 9-year-old. So my last birth was almost, it was 9 years ago. And so one of the providers here locally looked at me and he was like, well, would you rather give birth at a hospital that only delivers a few hundred babies a year?
Mm-hmm.
Or would you rather go and deliver 30 minutes down the road in a women's center that does thousands of babies a year? And I was like, well, when you put it like that, because I had some complications in my last pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it does make a huge difference and it gives them access to a team. And, even at the cone level, some of my complications we took to Duke and
Mm-hmm.
they were monitoring. But again, I never had to go to Duke. It was all virtual. It was all the cone providers going
Yes.
through that. And so it makes a big difference as a female having a baby. You want your providers to be taken care
Mm-hmm.
of. You want accessibility to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were able to merge with another group and take rotations. And it made such a huge difference, I think.
Yes.
So,
And virtual care is the going thing now. I know all of our beds in Cone Health are monitored via E-Link in Greensboro. So it's a department that just watches those patients constantly.
now what does that look like?
It's a camera in the room, and I've been in there once when they come on. They just turn on and they'll ask the patient some questions, like they monitor their vitals and everything. So if anything looks weird or anything, they just turn on the camera and come in or page the nurses.
That's
So
really cool. And so, what does that look like on the other side? Like it's like a bank of monitors
it's
that are
just
being watched.
it's like a monitor, like a, what do you call it? It reminds me of like the 911 operating center. Like it's just a team of people just watching those monitors constantly.
See, that is really cool because the ability for technology, like I'm huge on technology. Everybody knows I talk about technology all the time. And you cannot replace human care. You cannot replace human people, but what you can do are monitor the
Yes.
machines and the facility. And I think that I mean, I don't know if you ever have to go or have been to the eye doctor or the dentist or any of that lately, but like everybody is going to. When I had to take my daughter to the eye doctor this summer, and we went in there and they're like, okay, the doctor will be on the screen soon. And I was like, what? I had no idea that we weren't seeing like the doctor on site, but they are able to see so many more patients because, I mean, and let's be legit, like the thing, I mean, it came right up to her eyeballs and the doctor could see everything that was happening. And I was like, this is wild. And so I had my first real experience like a patient or a family member of a patient with that kind of thing. And telemed's just come so far.
It's great. I use it a lot because lack of primary care physicians, and it's a lot. Sometimes you might have to wait a month or two before you can get an appointment. So I use it on the Cone Health now.
Cone Health's awesome for that. I don't think a lot of people realize that they have the virtual visit.
Yes.
So tell people about how you make an appointment because it's really simple.
So you go on the website and you click the virtual visit thing, and you'll select the time, and it'll ask you a bunch of questions, insurance and all of that information, and then what's your symptoms and what's going on with you, and then you set the time and they call you on the video chat and you just go through your visit like that.
It's so cool. I discovered it during COVID because it was really hard to be working from home and have 3 kids from home. And like you said, trying to get an appointment, trying to get, and a lot of times that is a better option than going to the urgent care or the emergency department.
Because we try to keep our emergency room just for emergencies.
Yes, we want it to be just for emergencies.
Yes.
And I think too, like, so at the chamber, we provide a service for our employees where again, that is a free service to them that we have access to a
Mm-hmm.
virtual doc. And a lot of times it's, it's connected to WebMD, but I have also gotten the same doctors that I
Mm-hmm.
have gotten because, a lot of them, like when you know them by name on the virtual, I've been able
Yes.
to get the same doctors because they're signed and prescribed to all those services, and
Mm-hmm.
it's all interconnected. So it was really cool because I was developing a relationship with one of the virtual docs, and I was like, oh, like this is a Cone Health doc, and he was a Cone Health doc, but
Mm-hmm.
he also was a virtual doc, and so I've met him on other service
Yeah.
platforms, and I was like, well, this is really cool and interesting. So I just think that that part is it's actually really great, which leads me to the other thing that we are doing in the county, which is really awesome. And I know they're getting ready to do a ribbon cutting on the one that we've done in Eden, but we have one right here at one of our elementary schools.
Mm-hmm.
So we just cut a ribbon. Gosh, I don't know. Are we going on a year?
Yeah, it was about a
A
year.
year ago that we
Mm-hmm.
did that. So tell us about what cool new service for that we're offering in the elementary schools.
So they're doing telehealth in the elementary schools. So I think each elementary school have a CMA there on site. So to help the students if they have any urgent, like with medications, and to avoid from them having to come to the urgent care or the doctors or anything like that.
Yeah, and as a parent, like watching, like I know how much I struggle, and I have a very, wonderful career with right here, 10 minutes from the kids,
Mm-hmm.
flexible. But like for the parents who can't leave work or who don't have access to a primary care doctor or can't get their kids where they need to go, like that is reducing absenteeism. It's
Mm-hmm.
getting kids the care they need. And I mean, from what I understand, it has been wildly
Mm-hmm.
successful. And we're trying to replicate that, I think,
Mm-hmm.
across the county.
Yes.
And that's something they're doing through the student health centers too,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think it's cool. There's some really good partnerships with folks
Mm-hmm.
who have come together in this community and setting aside
Yes.
boundaries of organizations or
Mm-hmm.
boundaries of, well, we come from this walk of life or this walk of life, and they're all coming together to just make stuff happen for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
What other cool things do you think are, coming down the pipeline for you, like in your role? Like that's going to be a big transition. And when is that
Yes.
happening?
So we're finalizing interviews now. We narrowed down the candidate search, so we have some on-site interviews at the end of this month. So hopefully by November we'll know. Well, not November, late October. We'll say mid to late October. We'll know who the candidate is that will be taking that role. But for me, I'm pretty excited about it. I've um, I've had a couple of leaders like transition through my time here, but it's I'm looking forward to it. And recently I just finished with my master's degree in business, so I'm looking forward to seeing what this new leader can bring to the table and help mold me and see where I want to go next within my journey. And also, Annie Penn celebrating their 95th year this year. So we're having an employee celebration on October 1st if anybody wants to come out.
That is exciting. I
Mm-hmm.
remember when we celebrated
The
90
90,
years.
yes.
Gosh, and the 100 will be here before you know it.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all better start planning for
I
that
know,
now.
yes.
No kidding. Because,
Mm-hmm.
like, you'll say, oh, well, yeah, we'll plan for that in, like, year 98. And then it'll be like, oh, my gosh, it's here. And what are we doing? But,
Yes.
yeah, the chamber was a big part of that. I remember
Mm-hmm.
helping
With,
talk about some of the things that were going to happen. And we
yes.
had some different events. And there was the very cool, I remember marketing had their kind of their static ad that we
Mm-hmm.
used and everything. And 90th year was around our 100th year. Like it didn't fall, it was like a little bit after that. And so it's kind of cool to see all these major milestones that are happening in and around Reidsville
Mm-hmm.
during our time.
Yes, we still show the video that you all helped with and new employee orientation.
Oh, that's fun. We are
Yeah.
going to have to do a new
We need to
video.
update it, yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, because a lot's
Yeah,
changed
a
since
lot
the
has
90th
changed,
anniversary,
yes.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. I hadn't, time flies.
Mm-hmm.
You think about 5 years. I've been here 15. That's 3 sets of 5 years. So, I mean, and you're getting ready to celebrate your 5 years.
Years,
So,
yes.
when you look back and you think, I mean, you think about how different things are. And for you, like, So that means you came during COVID.
Yes, right
Oh
during
my
COVID.
gosh, talk to me about that.
So I come during COVID. I was the last class at my college to graduate. So they after my graduation, I graduated December, and they canceled everything after that. So I come to the hospital. They had a non-clinical temporary supplemental staff. That's a long title, but that was the title. So basically, we were COVID screeners. We would come in, check temperatures, figure out where everybody was going, and make sure they get directly there. Or stop visitors from coming in. Like it was only you coming to your appointment. So they stopped everything. So we were kind of the police at the front desk.
So
So
how did that feel to be like on the front
yes,
line of a pandemic? Like,
it felt. I mean, it was scary sometimes. It was scary because, especially when I moved up to ICU, because they moved me up there to try to help with call bells and everything like that. So we were seeing patients die, and it was terrible. But it was a learning experience, and I'm glad that I got to experience that, and I learned so much for being on that unit.
I remember, so at that time for me,
Hmm.
Jesse was my board chair. So
Yes.
Jesse Metter was, marketing. And I remember talking to her and like we would have stuff going on and she was like, I'm sorry, like I'm on the floor. And
Yes.
you mean, everybody, it was all hands on deck. Like
Hmm.
she would be running from dietary to rooms. And because,
Yes.
I mean, there just weren't enough hands to go around. And it was
Yes, it
wild.
was like I was pulled to the cafeteria. I learned how to work the cash register. I've done a lot. So it was a bad situation, but I'm thankful to learn
Well, my
those
goodness.
different traits in the hospital. So it's good to know what everybody does and how important it is to the whole hospital running.
That's funny that you say that. That is by far still my favorite experience is watching Mickey Foster do that and the
Mhm.
the day in the shoes or whatever.
Mhm.
I don't remember what he called it, but Mickey would go and do a different department job, and he would learn like so he would go to laundry or housekeeping and like
Mhm.
do that, and then he would go to the cafeteria and like work on the line or whatever. And I just think it's important to understand because the hospital is its little own ecosystem and
Mhm.
it has all the pieces. And I don't think people understand too, like when you say like all hands on deck and everybody was pulled everywhere, why was it so crucial? It was because staff were getting sick and being
Mhm.
off, and it's because people were resigning and
Mhm.
people were like, I'm not doing
Doing that.
this.
Yeah.
And they were leaving. And I mean, it was just like, and then like the crazy thing was seeing the staff people sick.
Mhm.
But then, like you said, I mean, the hospital was at full capacity and people were dying and people were
Mhm.
getting shipped to other
Places.
places. And
Yes.
it was just like the wild, wild west. I
Mhm.
remember like mom coming home and like basically she like they would strip down all of their
At the
clothes
door.
at
Yeah.
the door and leave everything. And I remember she would not get dressed until she got to the parking lot of the
Mhm.
hospital. And like you would drive by and you would see at shift change people putting on like whatever their PPE was or
Mhm.
protective gear to go inside. Like I've never seen anything like it in my life. And I don't know
Yes.
if we'll ever see anything again. Coming from the public health sector, those were vocabulary words. I never thought pandemic, epidemic, like
Mhm.
the words that they were using during that time. I was like, dude, I thought that was like something of the past. I thought that
Mhm.
was like a history lesson, a vocabulary, but like it just goes to show you how quickly things can get out of control.
Yes.
Disease process was always like my favorite class. And so I think for me, like, I don't know that I've ever talked to you about this, but I like, especially having Jesse as my board chair and
Mhm.
me having the public health, like I could sit on the fence and I could say to businesses, I don't care what you think about it, but I personally have seen it with my own
Mhm.
eyes. Lost my mom and we lost my grandpa in December. And then because he went to the hospital, not your hospital, but he went to a hospital
Mhm.
for something else that was kidney related. And he didn't come back home because he
Oh.
got COVID. And I take that back. He came home. He gave it to my grandma, and we hadn't been visiting for months because we didn't want to take them anything. Went back to the hospital where he died, and then 6 months later she died. And people were like, "Oh, it's not real. And it didn't affect
Mhm.
people." And I'm like, "Okay, but it did."
Yes.
And for our businesses and for all the chamber members, we were doing anything from helping Pelham Transportation. They were trying to find cleaning supplies. Like, how do we sanitize our vehicles so we can go over here to Annie Penn and we can pick people up and we can get people to the hospital and to their appointments? And what are
Mm-hmm.
we doing? And, so many services, like, how far did we have to let things go with things that people needed to be treated for that they couldn't be treated for
Mm-hmm.
because we weren't doing those kinds of surgeries or those kinds of services. It was just wild.
Yes, it was.
What a way to start your career.
I know.
I mean, really, Quam, like,
Yes.
what a way to shape and mold, like, what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So you just graduated. Congratulations.
Yes,
That's
thank you.
exciting. And now you're trying to figure out what's next.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of come full circle.
Yes, it has.
And the 5-year mark, like, a lot has happened.
Mm-hmm. A lot.
So I think when we think about how can people just have their eyes open, right? How can they just be a part of the community? There's so many cool things that y'all offer. One of
Mm-hmm.
those is the gift shop.
Yes.
Like, I just don't think people are, and then like the sales that happen and are open to the community. Talk to me about that a little bit, because that was Julie's thing for a
Yes.
while, and then it was, I mean, so it's been a lot of things, and we have some, Vicky Alston, I'm sure
Yes.
would love to come talk to us about that at some
So the
point.
gift shop is my heart. I love them in the gift shop, and the gift shop. All the sales go back to the Annie Penn Auxiliary, which a lot of people don't know. The auxiliary funds a lot for our staff. They have got us a new employee fund room, which it has ice. What is it? What is it? Air hockey table. It's a tennis table in there, well, ping pong table. We got darts. We got they put a big TV in there. It's basketball goals. It's a massage chair. It's just a place where you can go and unwind. You can eat lunch there. And then they just last year they remodeled our lactation room. So we have a fully remodeled lactation room. And then last year, they also funded our employee celebration, and they're funding this year's employee celebration 100%. So they're paying for everything.
It's so amazing. The
Yes.
auxiliary's done a lot of great work over the years. Tell me about the gift shop. I love coming to the sales where it comes out of the gift shop
Gift
and
shop.
they have those vendors come in
Yes.
and have those huge sales that are open to the
So
public.
I think another one of the vendor sales is coming up in October, but I'm not sure on the date. But the gift shop, those ladies they go out shopping, and people come in from all over to find their stuff. They just put out all the fall stuff, so they got the seasonal stuff every season. So it's just going great. We have new management now. We have a gift shop manager, which is great. So somebody's there that focuses solely on the gift shop, making sure that it's running and everything is up to speed. They got a new cash register, so it's no more dial up or anything over there. So we got new technology in there, and it was fun watching the ladies learn how to use that cash register. So
But like a
yeah,
new point of sale
yes,
system kind of thing. I bet that was fun.
yes,
Yeah, I have to admit, over the years, many of my Christmas gifts have come from the
from the
Annie
gift.
Penn sales and the gift shops, because they always had. So I mean, it's really cool because they have like the scrub type stuff, and they have the different shoes and that kind of stuff. But then they had like fashionable stuff and stuff that was what's the word I'm looking for, trendy, like things that were like right
Yes.
now, metal cups, right? Like they've been on trend for
Yes.
a long time. So they would have, and I'm sure this year there'll be some. There's always been that kind of stuff. And it's like really good prices.
Yes.
I feel like now that you've said that, you need to send that to me so that
Yes.
I can put it out and share that with the public, because I love
will.
that the proceeds go back. Stokes Ann used to always tell me when it was going to be, and I felt like that I had a kind of knew when it was going to be, but I hadn't thought about it in a while. So I'm glad that came up. Well, what other fun stuff do you want to share with us? We're almost out of time. Is there anything you would want people to know? Any events upcoming or anything we want to tell people about?
No, I told the only events that we have coming up is the employee celebration and celebrating the 95th year in Annie Penn. And if you have any questions or concerns relating to hospital, you can always contact me. My direct line is 336-951-4582.
Awesome. Well, Quam, it has been a pleasure to have you here
Hmm.
today, and it has been awesome having you on the board. I love that you have been so active. I'm very thankful for you. You've been helping deliver some directories, and you've
Yeah.
been active on the committees. And I'm really excited about one of your latest ideas that I'm going to get to have at the expo and have
Oh
Miss Amy
yes.
come and speak. Because the more I thought about that, I was like, that is exactly one of the things I've been looking for a while. So spoke to her this week and looking forward to having her there.
Yeah, she's great. She's super excited about it. She got to right at work after you spoke to her.
I bet so. Well, I think that patient experience role, while we have a second, tell me a little bit about that and kind of where that comes from and what that
So
does.
Amy is our senior patient experience manager. So she covers both the North and East region. So whenever we have any patient complaints or concerns, she's the direct person. She goes and sits with the family. She talks to them. She's the person that you go to before you get to, like, I want to speak to the president, I want to speak to this. She goes in and tries to smooth everything over and tries to fix the issue that before it gets like a bigger problem.
Yeah, and it's funny, like
So,
they used to be really good about, and I don't know if they're still doing this, but I know like if you were in the ED, like they would come around and
hmm
make sure, like, okay, I know it's been a while. Does the family, like your kids that are with you, like, do you need something to drink? Do you need a snack? How
hmm
can I help you? Do you want somebody to come pray with you? And they would, go get
chaplain,
the
yeah.
chaplain, and they would, so for me, it was always like that front line, like checking
hmm
on you, making sure everything was good. And like you said, they kind of mitigate issues before they get to
Yes.
be bigger.
hmm
So I think it's awesome. All right. Well, thank you for being on the show
All right.
today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So thank you. All right, folks, that is it for today's show. As always, you can find us in the heart of downtown Reidsville at 140 South Scale Street, on our social channels, and at reidsvillechamber.org. That's it for today. Stay tuned.